welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today I'm going to be eating nachos. I'm also going to be drinking some diet Snapple peach tea. And I'm going to be telling you a story time. So before I get started, make sure that you have subscribed. That's right, subscribed. And make sure you hit the notification bell. And make sure you leave a like and a comment. Okay. So, should we eat a chip before we pour the iced tea? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I made these myself, like, can you imagine? And they have cheese sauce. The reason I didn't use, like, shredded cheese, which is much better tasting, is because, you know, the amount of time it takes to, like, set everything up, the cheese would be no longer melted, you know what I mean? So, liquid cheese, better way to go. It was heated, though. There's also salsa, guacamole, which I literally just made out of an avocado, like legit. I'll tell you the recipe later. And some ranch because I don't eat sour cream. And I thought it would look nicer with some, you know, white to contrast. So actually it tastes really good. Cheap Charlie mug. If you'd like one, look in the description box. It would be really awesome if you would like to get one. You would be supporting the channel in a big way, so thank you. Now, let's pour this. Very good. Okay, so story time. Alright, so last Thursday, like today is what? Saturday for me. Okay, not for you. But today is Saturday, so not the Thursday that just passed, but the one before. I woke up, did my usual morning things, whatever that might be, had some coffee, checked my comments and stuff, whatever. And then I got ready to go to the gym. And not a big deal, but it felt like I was walking on something, like there was a big piece of like fuzz or, you know, lint, something like that under my foot. But I literally paid it no thought. I put on my shoes, I went to the gym. I get on the elliptical, I'm thinking, boy, my sock is bunched up. So I start yanking up my sock. That doesn't happen in my life. But I'm not trying to go to the doctor, believe me, that's not my thing. By the way, if this happens to you, go to the doctor, don't be like me, okay? I'm a person who doesn't do what I'm supposed to do, alright? I show my daughter, she's practically going out, getting a shovel to dig my grave, I swear. She's like, what? Something is very wrong with you. She's like, if that happened from nothing, then you got something really wrong with you. She's going through all the ideas of what is wrong with me. What could be wrong with me? I'm like, wow, that's comforting. She's like, I'll go with you to the doctor. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'm like, I didn't do anything to it. There's nothing wrong with it. Meanwhile, I'm still walking on the side of my foot, and now my whole leg is starting to hurt. All the way up to like my waist, literally. Because I've been walking on the side of my foot for a few days now. And so I'm using all different muscles, and literally I'm in a lot of pain that way. So I can't even figure out what hurts and why, you know? So, I sent a picture of it to my friend. Mind you, it's gotten worse looking as the days pass. Now it's turning like all kinds of black. It's spreading to the front of the toe. Like, it looks scary. I'm not going to show you. It doesn't feel worse, but it just looks uglier and uglier. Now I have this friend who has a son who's always breaking something, spraining something, like since he was like 2 years old. He's broken like everything. It's not what it might sound like. He literally is like clumsy, you know. And she said, oh, that's broken. Looks broken. I'm like, how could I break it and not know? She's like, oh, you need to go to the doctor. I'm like, what are they gonna do? Even if it is broken, they don't put it in a cast. She's like, they might. She's like, just go to urgent care. But I don't want to go to urgent care because whenever I leave urgent care, I always say they don't know anything here. It's like the worst doctors. Like, no offense, but I feel like when you go to urgent care, you get doctors who couldn't make a name for themselves as a freestanding doctor, so they have to market themselves at an urgent care. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not going to see this specific doctor who's known to be really good and really smart. No, you're going to a convenient place that'll see you right away. So I rarely like to go there. So anyway, I decided I would see if the orthopedist that I used to go to when I hurt my back a while ago, see if I could get in there. So, I call up and he doesn't have an appointment till October. Like, what? Like, that's not helpful. But they have an orthopedic urgent care. Oh, okay. You can just walk in, whatever. So the next day I go. They open at 10. I get there around 10. Now the urgent care is in an office that also has the regular doctors, meaning if you're there to see the orthopedist with an appointment, it's the same office as the urgent care. It's just a different, like, guy who comes in and he types everything up. You know, he's not a doctor or a nurse, he just asks you questions and types it. Then somebody comes in to take my x-ray. So they take me down the hall, take an x-ray of my toe, come back, wait a little bit while the x-ray is processed, or whatever. And then a PA comes in, so it's a PA. I don't get to see a doctor, but I guess that's, you know, it's fine. At least it's an orthopedic PA. Which I'm really glad I went to rather than the regular urgent care place, because, you know. So, she looks at it. She hears my whole story. She tells me that, you know, after she feels it, does this hurt? Does this hurt? Can you bend it? Blah, blah, blah. I could bend it. But when she pressed underneath, like what I was telling you, like there, that's when it hurt. Anyway, so she says to me, nothing is broken, okay, that they can see. You can't see like ligaments and tendons though on an x-ray. You need an MRI for that, but she thinks it looks like turf toe. TURF TOE. So like, what is turf toe? It sounds disgusting, right? It makes me think of trench foot. Have you ever heard of trench foot? Like, I think that's what people used to get in the army, like when they were at war. If their like shoes got wet, and then they got like some kind of fungusy thing. Like I think, I don't even know, but anyway, turf toe has nothing to do with trench foot. It's usually an athletic injury. Having to do with games played on turf, you know, like AstroTurf. But I haven't played any games on AstroTurf, but you can get it in other ways. It's just a, quote, hyperextension of the big toe. So, once again, using my hand for a model, if your big toe is pulled back too much, you know, upwards, you can tear the ligaments and stuff underneath, okay? And that's the deal. She said you could have done it doing something like standing up on your tippy toes, trying to reach something on a shelf. Like, I'm thinking, yeah, I do that all the time, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you stand on your tiptoes, you're doing just that to your toes, right? So that could have happened. Or any other number of things that I could have done to overextend my toe, like maybe during time on the elliptical, I don't know. Or, you know, stepping out of a car, funny, or who knows, right? So, she says it takes like 4 to 6 weeks to heal. Don't do any exercise during that time. You can live your life, but no exercise. And she tells me to get one of these like special shoes that they use for like post-surgery. You know, it's a flat shoe. It's hard on the bottom, so your toe won't flex while you walk. Your toe will stay flat rather than flexing, you know, which is good. And then it wraps around with Velcro. So she gives me a prescription for that and tells me to go across the street to the surgical supply store and fill the prescription. Then she says, and follow up next week with the orthopedist in another office somewhere else. Because the one here in this office doesn't do feet at all, you know. And I'm like, why do I need to come back? What's the point? She's like, well, he may want to take an MRI to make sure, you know, see what it is, you know. knowledgeable. Like, he knows as much as a doctor, I swear. Seriously. We talked all about it. He had the same injury himself from playing soccer. And, whatever. Oh, but he doesn't take my insurance. So he says, well, you can try to find another place that takes it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, I know my insurance will have lots of deductibles and co-pays and this and that. I'm not going anywhere to get a free shoe, trust me. This thing was only going to cost $22, so I'm like, I'll just pay for it, whatever, you know. I'm not looking to drive all over the place. So I get it, I put it on, it's great. I can walk normally again, like I don't have to walk on the side of my foot. All is well. And the next day they called me from the office. To cancel my appointment for the next week because they don't take my insurance. They take my insurance for their urgent care, but they no longer take my insurance for the actual orthopedists. So they're like, you'll have to find someone else. I'm like, okay, bye. No problem. I wasn't heartbroken. So now I don't know. But I'll see if I need to follow up. I mean, I'm wearing the shoe. Oh, when did I? Oh, you know, I never even said I went to the doctor. So this happened on a Thursday. I went to the doctor this past Wednesday, so it had been 6 days, okay? So anyway, now it is Saturday, and the black and blue is getting a little bit smaller as the days go on. It's still swollen. It's still, you know, sore. But they said it takes 4 to 6 weeks, so we'll see what happens. And that is the story. Wow, this has turned into a mess. Like, I don't even see any chips other than, I just see mush in the middle. You might see chips on that side. I don't know what you see. Oh, here's a chip that is, you know, naked-ish. Yeah, there's chips under all this, too. So, have you ever had turf toe? If so, tell me. So far, nobody that I know ever heard of it. Leave it to me to get some weird injury that I don't even realize I got. So, by the way, the guacamole. It's just, I take an avocado, cut it in half, like through the middle when you hold it the long way. Twist it like this to separate the two sides. Removing the pit is the only hard part. Okay. I do it with a big knife. It's like a special trick where you whack it with the knife and then you twist the knife and it comes out Some people particularly want to see you sitting there with the food all over your face for an extended time, just getting it everywhere. And not only that, they make thumbnails with like sauce dripping down their face, or even worse, like ranch dripping off their lips. Like, that's gross. I mean, I get it, okay? Like, I'm not that dense, but I don't get it at the same time, you know? Like, I know what it's making them think of, but I don't know why it's interesting or desirable to see that. When you know they're eating anyway, it's nothing sinister, it's just them eating. So, tell me what that's all about, please. But keep it clean or else YouTube will take your comments away. And, like, even worse is all those people who, when they eat, they moan like the food is so good, you know? Like, I don't want to hear that. I understand basic sounds when you're eating, that you're enjoying it, you know? Normal kind of sounds. Like, that's good. But anything like beyond that, like, that's good. After that, no. No, that is not what I came here for. Nope. No. Alright, I am full. No more nachos for me. But don't worry, I won't waste it. Someone else is gonna eat it. Yeah. Maybe we'll need to take out some more chips because it looks like it needs more chips. So, let me just tell you what happened yesterday. You guys know I love McDonald's, okay? So I'm like one of their biggest fans, maybe. And I went to pick up food yesterday for me and my husband for lunch. And we were getting two of the, what is it called? Crispy chicken sandwich meals. So I pull up there and I take out my app. I'm a little backwards with that. I'm like, I'm ordering it once I already get there. But that's because I want to use the app, you know. So I figured out what, I'm going to do, which deal or what, how I'm going to work it out really well for myself, whatever. And the app won't work. So I'm sitting there in the parking lot and I'm trying to make this app work. I'm doing everything I can think of. I downloaded a new version of it, even though I already had it, you know what I mean? I just erased it and downloaded a new one. I tried everything, turned my phone on and off, what is wrong with this? Oh, maybe I'm just sitting in a dead zone or something. I don't know. Because it was saying there was a message internal server something error. So I'm like, alright, let me get out of the car and walk towards the door. So now I'm standing by the front door and trying to work it. Same problem. I'm like, oh, now I look ridiculous too. Now I'm gonna go into the place without ordering anything yet and try to order it inside. So I go in, same error message. Now inside there's just no customers, okay? But the workers are very busy filling orders at the drive-thru and probably Uber Eats stuff, so they're busy. But I walk up to the register and the girl comes over and I tell her that I'm having a problem with the app. She's like, 1 second. So she calls the manager. He comes over and he listens to my whole story. I don't know why. He let me tell the story about what was wrong. And then he says, they should get that. I'm like, are you joking right now? Like, this is McDonald's. Like, you're the leader in fast food. And every other place has that. Every other place. Like, if you don't have your app or something, you can just take the receipt and it has a number on it that you can put into your app later for the points. So, like, seriously, you're telling me, oh, it's a good idea. And then he's practically just, like, leaving me, like, okay, like, as if I'm gonna say, bye-bye, I don't want any food. Like, hello, I'm in McDonald's. The app isn't working, but I'm not that crazy. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna order anyway. He's like, oh, alright. So he turns